welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for this edition of YBMcast, powered by Game 7 Baseball, game7baseball.com. Make sure you go to game7baseball.com, get your team registered. Winter workout tour in full swing. Got a lot of great stuff happening, discounts happening. We're traveling around. Make sure you check out the winter workout tour. We got live shows going on. We're traveling. We're in Kansas City, Nashville, Lake of the Ozarks. A lot of fun. Game 7 Baseball, Dave and Dave, appreciate all their support of Youth Baseball Midwest. Game7baseball.com. Today on the Prime Sports Midwest call-in link, we have Chad Wilkinson, American Legion Baseball, post 379 over in Oak Grove, Missouri. Chad, thanks for joining the show, man.
Sure. Happy to be here.
We met briefly at the state championships there in Sedalia.
Yep.
You guys had a pretty good run last year.
Yeah, we did. For the group that we had, kind of really pulling kids out of a real small area and small town. We were pretty happy with the outcome of last year, getting down to the state tournament and actually, taking one of those teams out was pretty good for our group. So
yeah, because you guys beat Pacific, which I thought had a really solid group. You beat them 4-3 in that game, and that was a good baseball game.
Yeah, we came out, and it's too bad we couldn't string two in a row there. We were kind of hoping for that, but we learned a lot. Definitely learned a lot about what it's going to take to go down there again, and kind of I have a lot of expectations this year for this group, and I expect us to be back down there and definitely finish on the higher end. So we'll see.
Let's talk a little bit about your experience with American Legion Baseball. I want to ask you, are you a part of American Legion, the post, or are you just coaching?
No, I'm just coaching. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a vet or nothing, so.
How long have you been working with American Legion Baseball, Chad?
Well, I grew up with it. I can tell you. I played for Ron Johnson, who coached post 379 back whenever I was, getting out of high school in that area, in that age, and I think he coached for 30 years down there. He's a real staple in the American Legion post 379. So I enjoyed playing for Ron. Excellent guy. I started, coaching this group kind of that I have when they were young, from 10 to 12. And so they've kind of been with me all the way up, and then we went through Junior Legion. We had a Junior Legion program here in Oak Grove. We're fortunate enough to have enough draw to have, a junior and a senior. And so, this is probably about the last year for me. I've run this group up through, and I'm hoping this year we come out, have a great year.
So this area back here is basically production. They do a lot of the artwork back here. They do the production. So any of that stuff that comes in off of, we'll say, our fanware stores, stuff that comes in off the team stores, a lot of the coaches wear, a lot of the last minute, hey, we got to have it in the next 10 minutes stuff. That's all comes back here. This area is where all the day-to-day stuff that comes in really goes through. The retail store is its own little entity. This is where the real work is done.
So talk to us a little bit about that, Junior Legion to the American Legion. So do you guys have other coaches coaching the junior teams? So this would be your last year coaching the senior team, but did you coach them at the freshman and junior levels as well?
Yeah. So we have a good organization, and it's been improving quite a bit over the last 4 or 5 years. The Oak Grove Legion baseball. I know Eric Hall oversees he's kind of the director of our organization. He does a fantastic job. He does a great job of organizing it. We came in, and I coach Eric's son, Jordan. He plays for me, and Eric's older boy played, a couple of years ago for Jeff Ream. So he was ahead of me, and we basically just, we set it up where we kind of know who the next coach coming in is. We kind of identify who they are. We identify, what they're bringing in. We're really pushing for Oak Grove. We're trying to help Oak Grove athletics, Oak Grove baseball. And, I'm a real proponent of that. I played high school baseball in Oak Grove. The first year we had baseball in Oak Grove was 1992. The Oak Grove baseball team in 1992 came in the first year and won state championship, 3A state championship. So, and that was due to the fact that the guys that were coming in had been playing together for 5-10 years. Mm-hmm. So we're pretty big on Oak Grove baseball. Like I said, Eric does a good job of bringing the next guy in. We've got a junior coach right now that's in line to come up next year and take this over from me, and we'll have somebody in line to come in for the junior program next year and step in and keep the organization. There's plenty of kids that have interest, so we'll just keep rolling.
What's the name of the junior coach that
his name's Brett Mercado. So, he's the head coach down there. Ryan Sharks is helping him out. I've got James Hernandez is helping me out on the senior side, and Scott Dean as well. Eric, he directs everything, but he's in the dugout with me at the senior level. He has been since we've been, started junior. He's been in there. He's heavily involved with the program. So.
Very good. So talk a little bit about the program. Talk a little bit about player coaches, development. How are you guys approaching the development of players? And do you work a little bit with the high school coach over there?
Well, we try to work hand in hand. Jeremiah Bigger is the high school coach over there, and he does a good job as far as, he understands that we're his summer program. And so we have a good relationship in that way. He kind of pushes kids. We have a little bit of help there with some of the other school sports. Jeremiah does a good job of helping us there to try to get these kids out here playing baseball. As far as what we've done a winter program for the last, as far as I know, we get guys indoors starting January. And we run them up to the first weekend in March is when they have tryouts. So January and February, we have them inside, getting their arms going, getting some swings in, just getting some muscles working that they haven't used for the last couple of months, and getting them prepped up for, high school tryouts and ready for the team. And then once high school baseball is over, we take them. I mean, the day they're done, the next couple of days, we're either playing games or we're on the field. So.
Where do you guys have an indoor facility, or you just rent space? How's that working out for you guys?
So that's interesting. We had an indoor space for the last 3 years, and this is the first year that that space kind of fell through. It ended up getting handed over, and they tore it out, which was unfortunate. And in Oak Grove, what we have done is we have partnered with the high school baseball coach to get us into the facilities there. He's got cages in there, and we've got space to get in there and get guys going. We got mounds. So right now we're just using the high school facility, kind of partnering with the high school coach and those guys to get these guys in and ready before school ball starts.
I know I've been on that side of the state. Oak Grove is right. It's right off. It's basically right off 70, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's right off 70.
How far are you guys from Kansas City?
On a straight shot down 70, I think it's about 24 to 30 miles. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're not far from Kansas City, to be honest. Just a little town there right outside of Blue Springs, Green Valley area. So
Green Valley, yeah. Now, do you lose kids to some of the club teams in Kansas City?
We do. We have, I'll be honest with you. I'm starting to see the opposite. What we're starting to see is some of the showcase kids come to us. The lead, my take is, the Legion, what I'm seeing from Legion baseball is better quality baseball, and, it's not as cost prohibitive as showcase. If you're going showcase, you're putting a lot of money, a lot of time in. I really feel like Legion is, a good opportunity for a lot of guys that, are looking to be competitive, and not have that, year-round commitment, I guess I would say. But yeah, I've had guys. We're starting to see guys come out of showcase and come to Legion. That's what I'm seeing.
And what does that, what does that tell you about your program? I think that's very interesting because, you say Eric Hall, that development process, and now I know Missouri American Legion Baseball, the state is providing an opportunity with PBR to do a showcase event exclusively for Legion players, correct?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. At the end of the year, that showcase, you talking about the All-Star deal?
Well, there's the All-Star game at Busch, right?
Yep.
And wasn't Jordan in that one?
Yeah, we had 3 or 4 guys get nominated off the club, and then Jordan was selected to participate in that All-Star game. And that was honestly, I thought, man, at the beginning I was a little apprehensive about it, but after watching that, and that was great. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I think it was a good experience for those boys. They loved it. So, yeah.
Heck, man, get to play at Busch Stadium, right?
Oh yeah. He, I know he was a little nervous. It's a big deal walking out onto a big field. But we watched that game, and those kids did a great job. They got them on the field, and the game was excellent. It was fun to watch.
It was a good game. It went down to the wire. Missouri came out on top. I love that. And, they're going to do it again this year. It's slated for, I think it's June 23rd. And we're going to get to live stream that again from Busch. So I'm looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it a lot.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think that's an experience. These kids, these are some of the 18-year-olds. Maybe they're going on to college. It might be the last game they play. Because I know Jordan's going to Central Methodist to play football, right?
Yeah, I think that's the direction he's going. So, his baseball is looking like it's going to wrap up here, this year.
But you got to love that. That's a pretty good athlete right there, playing college football. That's, and that's the thing. I think it's interesting because over here, you have kids do that quite a bit. I know Brett Norfleet, who went to Mizzou for baseball and football. He ended up starting as a freshman on that Mizzou team, and he's going to focus on football, and I think that's great.
Well,
that's
look at Pat Mahomes. He would have been a hell of a baseball player. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad he chose football, but it would have been interesting to see,
Well, and Chad, you look at the way he throws a football. I mean, you see some of those throws from sidearm. It's like, you've made that backhand play, and you're,
Yeah.
It definitely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's obvious. It's obvious that what he's brought that baseball arm ability into the football arena and changed the sport forever. I mean, now you see all these guys throwing sidearm passes. They would have never done that. 5 years ago, it would have been no.
Right? I know. You see him, and it's true. And it's pretty unprecedented that, this kid has played 7 years in the league now. This is his 7th time, and each time he's been in the AFC Championship. That's just unbelievable.
Oh yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah, that's tough.
But it's a baseball guy, and I think that's exactly You guys talk about building a program there
Mm-hmm.
and the Junior Legion. Let's talk a little bit about the Junior Legion part of that.
Sure.
How are you getting those kids involved in the Junior Legion to where it keeps that program moving forward that way?
Well, they work with us in the wintertime. And, there's a handful of Junior Legion programs around here. I know Scott and Lee Summit has one. Uh, the Blue Springs folks. No, actually, I take that back. I don't think Scott has a junior program anymore. Well, what we've been doing is, we get them set up, and we find other Junior Legion teams around, and we get them. We get games set up and rostered, and then they get a handful of tournaments in, and those kids play. I can tell you that I dual roster a few kids off that younger program because there's some kids on there that are capable of, and they have the skill set to kind of play up. But some, I had a freshman come in last summer, actually, yeah, and so some of these kids have that skill to move up. The junior program's been good though. It was good for us when I was in it. We played 30 plus games in 6 weeks. We cram them in 6-7 weeks. We really crammed the baseball in, and said that the junior program, Pearl Grove, seems to be in pretty good shape at this point. So
I think it's interesting, in that respect. And I've had these talks with other people, club teams and things like that, where you're just playing the tournaments on the weekends and this.
Right.
Do you think, baseball's kind of that grind sport, you guys, if you don't have the pitching, it's hard to play 4 or 5 games in a week, isn't it?
It's tough. That is one part of the coaching that I've had to learn. You have to learn how to manage that, because that's the fun part about when I was a young man playing high school ball 30 plus years ago, there was no pitch count. There was no, we had 2 guys that could pitch. And if you had 2 good pitchers, you go out and roll. I mean, you could go out and roll. I mean, I remember throwing 9+ innings in high school, and there wasn't even a question about it. Nowadays, like you said, it's all pitch count. It's all, how do we get to, you plan for 3, and then you end up playing 5 in a weekend. It is tough to manage that. And so if you're going to roster a 12-man roster, you better have 8 pitchers.
I think that's, and in today's day and age, I think it's even when, if you're talking Junior Legion baseball, finding, if you got, 7th and 8th graders, can you, and especially in your guys' situation, a smaller community, can you roster 14 kids?
I'll be honest with you. You can. I mean, you can. I don't like it. I have always been a coach that if you're going to play for me, you're going to play. I know kids they didn't sign up to enjoy the bench. That's not what, when they look back on, what they've done, they're going to look back on, hey, I played, I did this. It is a fine line to walk. It is tough to manage your number of players versus, like you said, trying to get kids on the field versus trying to make sure you got enough roster to get through the year. And then you got kids starting to work and vacations and all sorts of stuff you get to work around. So it does get interesting. Thus, there is the advantage of being able to kind of dual roster some of these kids off the junior program. They can come up and help. We found they do. And so that's a good option for us.
I got something for it. And this is kind of a, I think it's definitely a cultural deal where used to, if you went out and played baseball, Legion, I played Legion ball, you didn't go on vacation. You played ball, Mom, dad didn't think about, you went and played ball. That's what you did. And it's funny, you look at, you got to work through vacations, what a guy's working, the work schedule, you could usually work through some of those things. Most of the places, I was in a small town too that way, but I think it's interesting, today it's almost like, oh, we're going to the lake.
Yep.
Like, we have a game Saturday.
I can't tell you how many times I've we have had kids, every year. It's like, hey, we take these 4 days and we go to the beach, or we take a week. And it's like, it's funny. I'll have kids miss a week, 5 days, but they'll miss 10 games. It's tough. Eric, we've done a good job of really, explaining to these kids, hey, and the parents, they understand. It's like, hey, if I'm going to keep my numbers down, if I'm going to run 11, 12, I need you guys to commit to the team. I need you to, we need to take off work. We need to make sure we're here during these tournaments. And in the most, we've had really good luck with that. And then Eric does a good job of getting our schedules out early, our tournaments set up early, so we kind of have that visibility. It'll be here in a couple of weeks. I'll start setting up the regular the regular league games that we play during the week. But yeah, it's a fine line to walk anymore.
We're joined here, folks, by Chad Wilkinson, Prime Sports Midwest call-in link. Chad, I want to ask you about coaching in the sense of, you've been doing it this long. What are the differences you see today in coaching? Like you said, you're dealing with this. You try to keep the roster. How have you had to change some of your philosophy from what you understood and knew to what you're dealing with today?
So back in the day when I was playing, I played for Dave Fry, who's in the Missouri Hall of Fame, Ron Johnson. I played for guys that, back then there was a little more everything's a little softer nowadays. Let's put it, you got to be a little softer. You got to be a little more gentle about how you approach kids and everything, in a lot of aspects. So yeah, it does get interesting in personalities. I'm tough to change. I'm kind of old school about a lot of stuff, the way I do stuff. I've enjoyed coaching. I've been coaching for, the last probably 12 plus years. I started coaching my daughter, and now my daughter is, she's starting to coach, kids. So it's kind of in the blood. It's something that, you see people take that role on, and, coaches, when you see them, you talk to them, you understand they're there to, to help these kids and improve, because these kids are going to look back on this time, and it's just part of growth. I think these sports and teaching these kids and being around this helps them in life and business and in their work and everything along the way. It's just not baseball. It's everything. I look back on the guys that, coach me, and anytime I see one of them, Dave's still around, I talk to him, I thank him, it's good to see people like that. So I appreciate my coaches from the past. So
I think it's interesting you say that, Chad, because, you hope that these kids' experience with you, maybe someday you'll see those kids back here coaching these teams, correct?
Yep. That's the funniest thing. I was sitting in their shoes 30 plus years ago, and here I am coaching them. And, it's just like, hey, it's just a cycle. And, at some point I may come back and see one of these kids coaching this in, 15 or 20 years. And it's exciting, So.
Because I think that's the thing. That's one of the things that we talked about when we started Youth Baseball Midwest was, it is community. It's about community. And Legion has always been about community and, the Post, what guys do. How connected are you guys with Post 379, and how do you get the players involved in that?
So we've done some stuff with the Post. We've, the Post, they help our club out. They definitely do. Those guys are great over there at the Post. They hand us a check every year and say, hey, go get it. And we've done a great job of, kind of representing the Post 379 in Oak Grove would be my assessment. But we do stuff for the Post. We've gone out, on Memorial Day and all. We've put flags out, and we've helped the Post there. They've had some they've done some infrastructure work at the building, hardwood floor, change out, and we'll just, hey guys, we're going to go down and move some tile for these guys, or hey, we're going to go help them do this, so we try to help out the Legion when they ask for it, and vice versa. They no doubt help us out as an organization. So, and these kids, we try to explain to how, hey, these guys are helping keep the cost down for you guys to go out here and play this sport. It's huge, some of these kids don't, if you told them, hey, this is what it costs you to go play somewhere else versus what you're doing here, so we appreciate those guys over there at the post. And so we put a little bit, we put a little bit back into into what they give us.
I think it's perfect. You get giving back in the community, teaching the kids that, those are the things. There's people here. That's what community giving and setting yourself in that place, because at some point, you'll be there. Somebody will give back, the next generation, and keep doing those things. I think those things are so important. And I think that's the fun thing about baseball. It's a game. Baseball is a game. But the people and the relationships and the development of relationships and the teaching moments of working hard, as you said, it translates into the rest of your life, correct?
Correct. It really does.
Yeah. Yep. And I think this is the important thing. And people like yourself, you understand that. And I think that's the important thing, because, like you said, those guys, you still see those guys that helped you in that way. And here you are as a coach giving back into the community. And I think the more we see these types of things, Chad, the more opportunity we have to continue the growth of that.
Yep. Oh, I totally agree. Yep. I agree with you.
I'm going to get you out of here on this. Let's talk about your program a little bit here and look at the upcoming season. I know about Jordan Hall. He is a tremendous ball player, and he's going to play really good baseball. I know he's going on, but talk about your team a little bit and some of the guys that you expect to come back and be contributors.
So this year, what we've done is we've got more athletic, and I love it because we went down to state, and that's the thing we talked about is getting more athletic. I've got guys, my son Eli, Logan Hernandez, Sheldon Dean. I've got guys that once the season ended last year, they got into a throwing program, and the benefits that we're seeing from some of these kids that are putting the work in. I mean, they went from throwing 70s to 8. We're rolling 80s. We're getting up in the 80s now, and so some of the benefits I'm seeing from these guys, I'm excited to see them get out in school ball. Like we started indoors. Eli, I expect big things from that kid this year on the mound. I've got Nick Reeves coming back. He'll be, he graduated last year, but he's coming back for us, and I'm excited to have him. He's solid as can be on the mound. And then I've got some young guys coming in that should be able to help us. And I picked up a kid from a showcase club that Caden Gann. He's a little lefty. I think he's committed to playing some ball somewhere here when he gets done. So I think this is going to be the year that we should come out and really, be a solid club. Excited about it. And I think it's going to be fun. We're not a big home run hitting team, but we're more of a small ball. Get a guy on first and move him. That's what we're going to do. That's the game we're going to play. When we do that, we beat anybody. We went down to state, and like you said, we hit Jackson in some of these clubs, and it's interesting. You get down there, you start seeing guys 6'3", 6'4", 220 that are just like, wow. But that's not what we're running. We're going to be athletic. That's going to be our game. We're going to put the ball in play. We're going to pitch. We're going to play defense. So
I like the fact of what you talked about being more athletic. And I think sometimes, until you get into that and you see those top teams and you see, like you said, Festus, 253, post 253, they had kids from that Class 5 championship, state championship, high school state championship team on that. Ian Brown and Tyler Bizzle. Those, I mean, that was a big physical team.
Yes. Yep. That's exactly what we thought too. Yeah. And no, I mean, not to say, you know, I picked up some athletic kids. I picked up a kid that just played for Oak Grove High School. He's got a little pop behind him, and Sheldon and Nick. But our ball game is going to be athletic. It's going to be line drives, bunts, put the ball in play. We're going to steal bases. That's the way we're going to do it. You know, we're going to keep it tight. So.
With the arms, and you're talking about these kids getting into the 80s and the things of that nature. When you start looking at the arms, what's your depth there? It sounded like you got 5, maybe 6 kids right there that you're really looking at pretty solid.
That's what I'm looking at. I mean, like I said, Nick came back. I think, you know, he was our number 1 last year. He stepped up a lot this year from he's put the work in. He's put 3 months of hard work in, put on, 20, 30 pounds of muscle. That kid's he's going to throw some heat for us this year. And then I got Logan and Sheldon and Caden and, some of these kids Jordan can throw. So we've got guys that I'm 5 deep. I feel strong 5 deep that I got 5 starters that we can run. And I got at least 3 kids that can come in and give me some relief work. So at this point, as long as the arms stay in good shape, you know how that is. You may get into the year and everything, it always happens. But I expect us pitching wise to be in great shape. If somebody don't have it going, I'm next man up. I think we'll be in good shape. So, yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to it, Chad. We're going to be following it. I think Oak Grove had a pretty good run last year of high school baseball. Be interesting to see how these kids do that way. We just recently talked about Class 4 and Oak Grove there. They had a pretty solid season. So it'll be interesting to see how you guys shape up. And then we're looking forward to the summer, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Bring the sun on in the 70s and 80s for me.
I'm with you there, brother. I'm with you there.
All right.
Folks, Chad Wilkinson, post 379 in Oak Grove. Chad, thanks again for coming on the show and talking some baseball with us, buddy.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, folks. If you, check out Allegiant Baseball. Go to MissouriAmericanLegionBaseball.org. Check out what's going on. There's some great stuff. Tom Rhodes, the chairman, the state chairman, doing some really good things along with the commission. Some cool stuff coming up. It was a great state championships last year. There was really 6 really good baseball teams, including Oak Grove. It was really some dynamic baseball going on there. So, hey, make sure, check out American Legion. Might be a possibility for you there if that's the road you want to go. So, everybody, if you like what we're doing, please take a moment, hit the subscribe button, hit that dinger next to it, because that's what we do, right? Everybody. I'm sorry, Chad. You have to play the small ball. You said no dingers, right?
Hey, no. Yeah, we'll take dingers all day long, but based upon what I'm seeing, that's a low percentage.
That will get you notifications for all upcoming episodes such as this. We appreciate Chad for coming on. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Go to the merch store, please. That's what we do. Prime Sports Midwest. The call-in link there. They do a great job. Everybody have a great day in the Lord. All you pitchers, keep throwing strikes. Hitters, you got some advice for the hitters, Chad?
Put the ball in play.
I love it. I love it. Keep it simple, right? There you go.
Keep it simple.
We'll see y'all next time.